Remembering Shaba.
Okay, good night everyone. Good night. Welcome to Valon Francis Street. Many of you don't know that the street was renamed to legendary Valon, aka Masquerade, aka Valon from up the village. My name is Jason and I am now leader and captain of Valon International Masquerades. What you don't know is that Shaba was, well, you know he was a masquerade player, of course, but you probably don't know that he was the leader before me, and I'm the one who actually took up from him. Alright? There are many fun stories I'll tell you, as we go on, but for now, I'll just speak on certain events. But I could remember now under Shaba, his leadership, those elders never used to play at all, they were very strict. You don't dance, you get a slap. I'm sure some of us could attest to that. You get a slap. I could remember I get a hunter one time. As children growing up, that was discipline first, you hit that, but then hey, all the elders would come and discipline you. But that is what happened under his leadership. He was a good leader. Our group, I could say, has gained some attraction because of himself. And they had people like Dale and all those other guys to push Valon's legacy. And we are where we are because of them, so we can't cancel out that. But Shaba was a good leader overall. He's going to be missed. I could tell you that much. I know we had some plans for our performance for Folk Galore. He was really a supporter even when he wasn't dancing. He would come and offer his encouragement. And of course, his words of advice. So that's it for now for me. I don't know if there's anyone else who would want to whisper anything else, but as we go on, I'll say more. Yeah? That's really not the case at all. If you ever get to learn the history and why, masqueraders even unseen, the clowns unseen, the bull unseen, you'll have great appreciation. But that is what I'm saying. When we launch community initiatives, we expect you to at least, show up. If you can't be there in person, tune in, and show your interest, because we don't want our folklore arts to die. And if our folklore arts die, then we die along with it, because that's our identity. That is how we are known. That is how we separate ourselves from the people out there. And so we don't want to, we don't want our folklore arts to die. So wherever you could give help, and I'm saying this from a place, of hope, wherever you could help in terms of, preserving art forms, if you could help, even advice, we just set for that, because we have people in the community who have knowledge, your knowledge bearers, and sometimes knowledge goes a far way, but if it's not used, it just dies, right? You agree? It just dies. And so we expect you as a knowledge bearer to come forward and say, "But hey, this ain't how the dance is done. I think you should do this." Something. It helps us, believe you me, it helps us. I know that we are launching this community initiative. We have, been getting those insights. People are coming and they are showing a great appreciation, for folklore arts, for masquerade. I'm all about masquerade, so you won't hear me speak about bull or clowns. I only know about masquerade. That is what my life is about. Alright? And growing up on the Shaba, it was serious business. Even when you as children, you didn't fall, you didn't seem to understand. But as you age, you tend to understand, right? Because you get wisdom as you age. So you know how serious, folklore arts is. I don't know if there's anybody else who would want to whisper anything. I know Shaba has been helpful, like the minister has said, and other persons. Very helpful guy. You could depend on him, even if it's just not change you were paying him. You could depend on him if he just wanted to help. So I know most of you, if not all of you, were benefited from his kindness, his willingness to help. And so if there's anybody who would want to say anything on his behalf, please, we would be glad to have you. say whatever.